Energetic, lunatic, misunderstood. I'd say my dad is the main influence. Derek Ritchie, start off with, early days. And, well, it's got to be Terry Hearn, isn't it? Everyone's idol. I started carp fishing when I was 4, so 30 now, 26 years. Out of my garden pond, we come back from a party once and set all of our carp rods out on, didn't put the tip section on, got them all on bite alarms, and yeah, we were catching the koi out of my garden pond, yeah. Well, yeah, my jig head, yeah, which I had a carp on earlier this year. Probably falling out of a tree at 23rd, tumbling down the tree, hitting every branch on the way down, and I think the last branch before I hit the ground, somehow my my leg wrapped around the bottom branch to stop the fall. Yeah, that was pretty scary. As I say, I started fishing when I was 4, and then my dad, we used to go out in the caravan. We went to a place called Henfold Lakes, and it was towards the end of the weekend, and my dad gave me his top section of his pole. And I hooked this fish, now I know it's a carp, and it just I hooked into it, and it just went, everything exploded, and I didn't have a clue what it was anyway. My dad helped me rig the rod back up again, and he watched me hook another carp, got all the sections onto the pole, and we were there for about 15 minutes coaching this this carp into the net. And yeah, it was only £8, but that was the start of it for me. I was like, you know, the battle, the strength of the fish, and that started all off for me. That was, yeah, that was the bug. I used to try golf, try cricket, hurt myself doing both sports. I don't know how, but I did. I've always had a very physical job doing landscaping and fishery management, so the last thing I want to do at the weekend is exert more energy like a lunatic on a football pitch or anything like that. I want to go out and chill out. So I used to, but no, fishing was my thing nowadays. So yeah, probably be Paper Court Lake, because I spent so many years there, met a lot of my good friends there, a lot of fond memories, and yeah, I think I'll just go back there and fish with my old pals, my old chums, and yeah, that'll be see my days out there, I think. Yeah, the usual one, pulling the hook into the finger, but it went right in, and the only way of doing it, you know, with the barb is to push it all the way through, and I think it was that deep that I just about had the point and the barb pointing out, and just about had the eye showing as well. It was that deep, and a bit of a home fix as well, when I probably should have gone down the hospital. And in fact, no, and I was down the lake and the injury happened, and I went round to see a guy, and he was drunk, and he decided to use a rusty pair of scissors to try and cut the barb off, and that obviously twisted, and that hurt a lot. And then we used a proper set of pliers and got it out. Yeah, nothing too horrific. I've been pretty lucky, I think. Jack Funnel. Little Jake Anderson, he's an exceptional little angler all round. My good pal from Solar. I would say he's a lot to learn from him. And Martin Locke, you know, the legend that is Martin Locke. He's been around, and the stories that he tells from back in the day and how it's all progressed. Yeah, I think they're my top 3. Probably catching my personal best, or the one before. I used to fish a lake called Silvermere. I wish that was a fish. Fished a lake called Silvermere. Unfortunately, all the fish have since died, but no conventional methods of free lining a bit of sweet corn. In fact, no, I've caught polo. That's probably the best capture. I was up a tree, 12-foot up a tree, and these fish would not take any free line bits of bread or any surface baits if the line was touching the water. So the only way to get the water elevated off the pads was to be up the tree with the rod and chuck the bait down in front of their nose. They wouldn't take it straight away, but then to just get the line elevated straight up off the bait and up to me in the tree. And I was sat up there for a good half hour with this bait. I knew it was polo, really old fish, and it took a good half hour for it to eventually come up, take the bread, and I hooked it up the tree, jumped in the lake, and to this day my Reebok Classics, where I jumped into the silt and I had to sort of, because it was sucked into the silt and the suction, I pulled my feet up out of the silt, and the trainers got left there, and then I was just racing around the pads and eventually got in the net. So yeah, it was action-packed little capture that, and it was a hell of a fish as well, really nice old fish. And I've done a similar thing with a big one there, 3-line bit of sweet on, but I wasn't up the tree, I was just round the corner on the 17th green with people trying to play golf and a couple of golf balls flying at my head, but I didn't care. I had a 40 pounder on the end. Polarised glasses. Tiger nuts. And my vape. Anything. I think if I was to turn the clock back, certain job opportunities that were given to me that I hesitated to take, I certainly wouldn't miss the opportunity to take them, because you kick yourself later in life. Apart from that, I think wasting so much of my angling life down Papercourt, you get fixated into one lake and spend far too much time down there, and for the ease of it all. But you know, it's not a regret, it's just the way it goes, isn't it? But yeah, certainly not, just don't miss any opportunities that are given to you in life, certainly work related. Probably Derek Ritchie, as I say, come back to the guy that gave me inspiration all them years ago when I was 13. I've done a troubleshooter with him, but yeah, I don't know if anyone's met Derek Ritchie. You'll know if you met him, he's he's the biggest character in carp fishing, in my opinion. The relaxation of it all, the getaway, just being, you know, if I go fishing, I'm either going for a social with my mates to have a catch up, or, you know, everyone has their bad weeks, and it's just to go away, relax, recoup, get all your thoughts together. Life's stressful, isn't it? You certainly I do anyway. I need to get away, and also I like enjoying, and it works for my relationship with my girlfriend. I think these relationships, when you're with each other 24/7, it doesn't work. So you go away and you come back and you're all soppy in love again. That's good. But yeah, just to get away and get your thoughts together, and I come back on Sunday night ready to go to work and take the week on again, and by Friday you're ready to go fishing again. But I think that's just in a nutshell, just to get away and relax. Yeah, I mean, this is a prime example, isn't it? Sat down linear fisheries when pretty much nothing's going on, and the weather conditions are probably the bleakest it's been for the whole of the winter, but you got more chance of catching the fish than being sat at home. But yeah, I think just being sat there in the freezing cold is probably not the most ideal, but we've all got to go through it, and it makes you appreciate when spring does eventually come round. I think it just makes you appreciate it even more, doesn't it? It's a yearly cycle, you just got to get through it. My pop-ups have got almond goo on them. Coffee in the morning, tea later on. Chocolate hobnob. Chinese. On the bank Chinese, at home Indian. Sounds weird, but yeah, on the bank Chinese. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. We're over in France. It was my first ever French trip with my mates that I met down Papercourt years ago. And it must have been it was a week session, got that down there on a Sunday. It must have been about Thursday. And my friend Ian ran out of wet wipes to go to the toilet. And my mate Mark said to him, he's like, yeah, I'll crack on it, I'll use my wet wipes. Anyway, went to the toilet, come back, and then with that, Mark told him that these are the wet wipes that he'd used for certain things and put them back into the packet, and then Ian was then using them. You should have seen, yeah, it was, he looked, yeah, not very impressed. I would have loved to have caught the Kingsmead fish out of Ellis. Yeah, that's always a fish that's stuck in my mind. And again, right next door you got Sheep Walk, old Cuttail that used to be in there, them two, from early childhood days. We used to walk around them lakes with them still in there, and didn't quite have the knowledge or experience to go onto them lakes, and yeah, it's certainly something I'd like to get my teeth stuck into now. But you'll find another one now, haven't you?